This is huge breaking news. Top EPA officials are now coming out and spilling the beans and blowing the whistle on what's happening with our water supply. And they're even saying our water supply is, quote, under attack. They're saying attacks, quote, attacks are happening on our water supply right now. And the EPA is even ordering water systems around the country to get prepared for more attacks, more poisonings, and more potential shutdowns of our water supply as well. This is critical. Water is critical to life. If you poison and ruin a country's soil and water, they have nothing. They can't grow food. They can't feed their population. They can't hydrate their population, and the population collapses. This is modern warfare mixed with ancient warfare. This is siege warfare. They're surrounding us, shutting down our infrastructure, shutting down our food supply, cutting us off from resources. At the same time, mixing it with fourth and fifth generational warfare, informational warfare, psyops, psychological operations on the American people are happening constantly, and we are being told left and right, this is safe, this is okay, this is normal, this is a coincidence, this is nothing, when it's right in your face. They operate with siege warfare, shutting down our infrastructure, and then they use fourth, fifth generational warfare to operate psyops on us and tell us it's a lie and say it's normal and gaslight you into submission and accepting this dystopia. So let's get into what this top EPA official is blowing the whistle on, and they're saying, quote, we are under attack and our waterways are, quote, under attack as well. This is huge that this is happening. And real quick, I just want to go back to this because I used to live in Oldsmar, Florida for a couple years, and you can see here, this happened in Oldsmar, Florida. This was in 2021. It says a hacker tried to poison a Florida city water supply, officials say. The attacker upped sodium hydroxide levels in the Oldsmar, Florida water supply to extremely dangerous levels. Sodium hydroxide is aka lye, aka can blind you, burn your skin, and cause potential death at very high levels, becomes extremely acidic for your body, for your skin, for your membrane. And this happened in America, in Oldsmar. I used to live in Oldsmar, Florida for a couple years. I moved all over the place for years. Once I moved out of my parents' house, I just bounced around to different places that were cheap for rent, that I was renting. And one of the places was Oldsmar, Florida. And this is absolutely insane that this happened. Thankfully, I wasn't there at this time, but this can happen at anywhere in the country at any moment. So let's get into what this top EPA official is warning of, because this is very serious. And we are seeing multiple massive cyber attacks on Congress. Congress just had a massive data breach. Hundreds of members of Congress had a massive cyber attack on them. Sensitive data breached. Also, a top military industrial complex contractor has been cyber attacked as well and had partial operations shut down. This just happened as well. We will get to these stories in just a second, but let's get into this EPA warning. So the EPA is ordering states to check their water supplies and be prepared for massive cyber attacks on their public water systems. And you can see here this top EPA official, I highlighted it in red because that's the most important quote that we have here. But you can see here the requirements released last week come after months of work by the EPA and a survey finding that while many public water systems have cybersecurity programs in place, too many others do not. Just like I said, this Oldsmar one, this could happen anywhere in the country. This was a cyber attack and they were able to manipulate, because there's already sodium hydroxide is already put into our water supply. They already fill our water supply with chemicals, fluoride, chloride, all of these halogens that absorb into your body very rapidly. They're already poisoning our water supply constantly with that, but people can hack the systems and up it even more so it kills you. All right, they're already doing a soft form of this, but we need to be prepared for it to ramp up rapidly. And look at what's already happening in Ohio. East Palestine, we're already seeing attacks on our water supply. I reported on a massive spilling of toxic chemicals in Mississippi as well, completely swept under the rug, that dumped into the Mississippi River just a week ago. It was toxic acid chemicals that could melt your skin off. That was just dumped in the Mississippi River just a week ago too. No word about it. This is constantly happening. Our water supply is under attack and it's critical to life. And you can see here, she said, quote, "Today, public water systems are frequent targets of malicious cyber activity, which has the same or even greater potential to compromise the treatment and distribution of safe drinking water as a physical attack," right? So she's saying that these cyber attacks are the same or even greater than a physical attack on our water system because they can manipulate these levels of chemicals and make our water that comes out of your tap extremely deadly. This is already happening in the country. If you saw my video a couple days ago, I was reporting on this other YouTuber that went there, and the footage he has is absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. So you can see it there, right there for yourself. This is Radhika Fox, the assistant administrator for water for the EPA. Top government official is saying that these cyber attacks are frequent and malicious on our water supply, and they're going to increase. And these cyber attacks they're just perfect because the government can just say, hey, this is China, hey, this is Russia, it's North Korea. They can blame it on whoever they want, and then there's no consequences. When there could be internal domestic groups, even potentially inside the government, there are rogue groups inside of our own government that could be operating these cyber attacks. We know that the NSA has backdoors into all of the critical infrastructure inside the country. They have backdoors into all the phones. The government has technology to power your phone on using radio waves. This is completely admitted. This isn't a conspiracy at all. Your phone could be in off mode. They can send radio waves to your phone and turn it on and ping your phone and find your location because the back doors are in all the technology. That's why they want to implement this smart grid and this smart, all right, it's not actually smart, this electric grid around us to track, trace, control everything. And they're going to use these events like water supplies being hacked. This is serious. People are going to beg for a solution when this starts hitting major metropolitan cities. And cyber attacks already have. We will get to Oakland, California just a second. Still happening in Oakland, California. If you've been following my videos, been happening in the past month and a half. A massive cyber attack in Oakland has been shutting down services all throughout the city. And once this happens to a critical service like water, electricity, people will be begging for a solution. And the solution will be to track, trace more, just like this is saying. EPA is saying, you better up your cybersecurity or we're going to come in and force you to do it. And that's going to cause federal control, federal regulation of our water supply and just more control, more clamped down. Soon your water consumption will be tracked, traced, manipulated. There's water shortages because all the water is poisoned. We need to track, trace, and control how much water you drink. This is what they want to do for everything. Same thing with the grid. They want to cause a grid collapse scenario. If you didn't see my video earlier today, go check it out. 103 million people are issued an emergency warning. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it. I posted earlier today. But they want to have a grid collapse so they can come in with all of the smart technology, track and trace and manipulate everything. We are so vulnerable to this that even members of Congress are now being hacked. This is what they want to do. They want to make these members vulnerable. I bet specific members were targeted and now they have this data on them and they will use it against them to exploit them and manipulate them. Data is powerful. Data is the key. That's why companies like Google and YouTube even operate. They are data companies. They are exclusively data companies. They have trillions of data points on billions of people around the world. And this breach here of members of Congress is just an extension of that. They want to have this data on these members of Congress so they can find out what they're doing. They can track them. They can trace them. They could potentially manipulate them, exploit their vote based on the data that has been released. And don't worry, FBI's on it. Don't worry, guys. FBI's investigating. They got they got it. Sorry to laugh, but it's almost a meme at this point. Don't worry, guys. FBI will figure out the cyber attack on members of Congress. Don't worry. It's safe. It's effective, and it's good for you. All right. So just a little microcosm. If members of Congress aren't even safe, you think you're safe, you think you are going to be safe, you think the grid is safe, you think the water systems are safe. No. This is what they do. They even let stuff happen to them to expose it, to show you, hey, these cyber attacks are happening. Hey, these things are happening. So you are warned. It's like I always said, you are always warned of what's coming. It's just how much you are paying attention. And if you watch me, obviously you are paying attention. You probably are reading news, watching other people. You are on top of it. But most people are not paying attention, and they always tell us what's coming next. And look at this. This is what's coming next too. Cyberattack hits engineering giant with contracts for military bases and power plants. All right. And this was a Canadian military industrial contractor who has been shut down, who has had certain operations shut down from a massive cyber attack as well. We are already in the middle of a war, and this war is completely unfair because in this war, everyone wants to take out America. Even our own American leaders want to take out America. So we're like, America's kind of screwed at this point. All right, America has everyone against them. Even our own leaders don't want America to win. They are. Think about this black hole of all this equipment and stuff we are sending over there, and now cyber attacks are hitting as well. So now we can't even produce new equipment, and we're draining our stockpiles. Biden even came out a couple months ago, I made a whole video on it, saying that there's an emergency semiconductor shortage, and we are not able to produce a lot of this military equipment because just single pieces of equipment require hundreds of semiconductors, hundreds of chips, and there's a massive shortage. Even a chip, the biggest semiconductor manufacturer in the world, which is in Massachusetts, was hit with a cyber attack, and they're losing $250 million just this quarter, just the first 3 months of this year. This quarter, they are losing $250 million from this cyber attack because it shut down production. And now another military contractor has been shut down in Canada. How much more can we take, and how much more until we see the big one? This is siege warfare. They are shutting down, and it's coming from all sides, okay? They want the US and Russia to essentially deplenish themselves, all right? Deplete themselves. Sorry, not deplenish. I was thinking of replenish and deplete. They want to deplete themselves so there's nothing left, and then China comes out on top. China is the model for the globalists. China is where they implement all of these sick dystopian globalist ideas, the QR codes, the facial scanning. It's already everywhere in China. The social credit score, all this stuff's already in China, the tracking and tracing. They want the United States and the countries over there, I don't even want to keep saying it, they want us to destroy ourselves. They want us to destroy ourselves and have China come out on top, and then China can be the global leader, and China's model will be projected onto the world, and this dystopia that they've set up will be unleashed onto the world because we won't have any choice. China will be the superpower after we have destroyed ourselves with Russia, who is honestly should be a natural ally of the United States. So I'm not even going to keep getting into all that, but we are in the middle of a war, and we also have domestic groups inside the United States committing these cyber attacks, committing these attacks, and want to take out the U.S. as well. So we cannot win in the United States. And even major cities, Oakland, I've covered this multiple times. They're still dealing with this. This was 2 days ago. The cyber attack started on February 8th. It's been going on for a whole month now. And they are still trying to get their systems back online in Oakland from this massive cyber attack. And right after this cyber attack, a week after, there was a massive substation fire, electric substation fire. 50,000 people had their power out, and the Oakland airport was shut down for a whole day as well. Just a week after the cyber attack, it's a complete coincidence, and don't even worry about it. And even Dish Network, one of our top internet and television cable phone providers in the country, is still experiencing a massive interruption from a cyber attack. This is still going on. Their cyber attack happened on February 23rd. I reported on it, and I saw people even in my comments saying that, hey, Dish Network is still out. And then I saw this article pop up. So this is already happening. We are already in a war. Klaus Schwab warned of the, quote, cyber pandemic. All right. And all of these world leaders go to this government summit, this World Economic Forum and this World Government Summit. They all go to it. They are all on the same side. All throughout histories, both sides of wars have been funded by the same people. Both sides of wars have been agitated by the same people, orchestrated, and the same people always profit and gain from wars as well. And it's these globalist groups that are orchestrating different countries against each other. And our own leaders are sold out to these groups. They go to these groups and they are more allegiant to these groups than they are to our own country, the United States of America. All right. And they are able to access our amazing power and wealth and manipulate it and use it for the interest of these globalist groups. All right. So it goes very deep. That's why there's no response. That's why there's no word. That's why this isn't in the news. That's why this is on KLTV. This isn't on CNN. This isn't on MSNBC. This is on KLTV because they don't want you to know that Dish Network has been out for going on 2 weeks now already. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. They are warning us constantly, and they're not going to tell us when the big one comes. They're going to warn us preemptively that it's coming, but once it happens, it's going to be very sudden. So have your stuff ready now. Be prepared. The grid could go down. We're getting these constant warnings about the grid. Go watch my video from earlier today. 103 million people in the United States have been given an emergency grid warning. Go check out that video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching me. Please hit that like for me. Please hit that sub, hit that bell, and click all if you want to get notified for all the videos I'm posting every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching me, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.